I mean, they said we wouldn't make 100 shows, right? But
what's the average is what, like 6?
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, man, we're doing okay. We're doing
the
okay.
average viewer on YouTube will watch something for about 2 minutes. That's about it.
Well, I think our demographic is sizably larger than
Yeah. And
at least age-wise. It's much older than the average.
Yeah,
So
and baseball fans are a patient bunch, right? Or we wouldn't be able to handle baseball. We are debuting with glasses tonight, not because anything changed, but because I got a new prescription for my contact lenses, and they're way too strong. So, man, I can read the mailboxes down the road, but everything within like 3 feet of me is a mess. So,
you should have done an episode like 3 feet back.
Right? That's a good idea. I just need a longer mouse cord. We could.
There you go.
We will get that back under.
You still got the track mouse from like 98.
Man, I tell you, every time I go cordless with a mouse or a keyboard, they end up breaking or running out. So just give me a cord to plug in. I can troubleshoot that. So
yeah,
I'm somewhat tied to the computer, but that's okay. We appreciate everybody joining us for the 100th edition of the Eternal Baseball Podcast. We like to think we've come a long way. Yeah, I know Cameron Fletcher's already dissing me out, and that's fine. I earned that. But we got a good match tonight, and it wasn't necessarily going to shake out that way because we are trying to get the 4 teams who haven't been on the podcast yet this year done. And every year we try to get everybody done early so we can highlight the very best matchups at the end of the year. But we kind of took a month off.
We dropped the ball. Let's be frank.
Yeah, no, we're going to get it done. We almost dropped the ball, but we're recovering it.
We're fumbling and live on air right now.
Yeah. It's juggling. That ball's in the pile. Somebody's going to come out with it. But we are going to get every team in. And for today, that's Oakland. We haven't had Oakland on the podcast yet.
We are going to run today. I don't care if it's Reggie. I don't care if it's Sal Bando. Sal Bando's got the green light tonight.
Sal Bando, Sun Devil. Just saying.
Just setting you up. It's a softball.
Yeah. So, we do have the A's tonight. It's A's Red Sox. The Red Sox are by far the better team record-wise, but Boston is fading in the East. They're 7 games behind the Yankees now, but only 1 game up on red-hot Baltimore for the top wild card spot. They're probably going to be the 2 wild card teams coming out of the American League, but Baltimore could absolutely leapfrog Boston and grab that top spot because there's only, I think, 14 games left in the regular season. So 1 game could be gone tomorrow. But in the other one, Oakland was dead and buried for most of the season. And then the division all started to struggle and they kind of crept back to them. So now Oakland is 1 game ahead of the Angels and 1 game behind Minnesota for the AL West title. And all of them are under 500.
So you're telling me I can't run with Sal Bando? That's I thought we had the green light.
Oh, you got Ricky Henderson also on the wall. So we're done, Ricky. So, but it should be a good game. Matter of fact, game 1 of that series was earlier today, and Oakland went down 3-0 in the first inning, came back to tie it at 4-4, sent it to extras, and Mickey Cochrane's 4th single of the game scored Jose Canseco with the winner in the 13th inning. So Oakland drew first blood 5-4, and we have a good pitching matchup tonight. It's Cy Young candidate for sure, Roger Clemens, 21-5, against Vida Blue, who didn't start the year in the Oakland rotation, but came in mid-year, and he's 11-6. So pretty good matchup there. Vida Blue.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Looking forward to it. I tried to, when I was pubbing the show up on Boston pages, I tried to pub it up by naming players they liked and not guys they hate. Because Boston's not so fond of Nomar anymore. They don't like Wade Boggs. They don't like Roger Clemens. They don't like Papelbon. And so I was like, let's see. Well, how are we going to do this? We'll do, I did Ted Williams, Carl Yastrzemski, Jim Rice, and David Ortiz. And the rest of the Red Sox tonight. I'm like, I think that's safe, right? If you don't like Ted, Yaz, Rice, or Big Papi, you're being.
But no, it wasn't, or
no, it went over pretty well.
Oh, okay.
But I was going through because when I do a tease like that, I try to name guys from different eras, so you get the idea simply from the names. Oh, this is a little different, right? But I was going through it, and I'm like, well, can't use Nomar, can't use Boggs, don't want to mention Clemens, and no Papelbon. I'm like,
no Ellsbury, no Johnny Damon.
a lot of their own. It's a weird bit, like they hate, and yet a guy who forced his way out through a contract loophole inverted his number for his new squad and never came back. Carlton Fisk is beloved by the Red Sox faithful.
And just that one clip, right?
What he didn't do was go to the Yankees, right? He burned that bridge as hard as you could. They love him in Boston. Who knows? They probably hate Mookie too, right? Like Mookie did anything wrong. But
yeah, I don't know. I don't have a sense for that because it really didn't seem like he did anything wrong. Maybe someone could chime in.
I think they just felt like they wouldn't be able to re-sign him. Like he was going to need so much money, they weren't willing to go there. You know, Boston kind of stopped spending, other than Devers. They kind of stopped spending the year they sent Mookie. So I guess that's what buying Adrian Gonzalez and Kung Fu Panda in the same offseason will do, and David Price will do for you.
Ooh, man, that was
moving forward.
They were still really in for Crawford too, and
Crawford fell apart. And,
all right, well, hey, welcome everybody. Welcome Cameron, Rob, Dave.
Rob knows what's going on, and Dave's rooting for the A's. That's fair enough. We will be playing as Oakland because they're the home team. Oh, and my old image of the Oakland Coliseum was dreadful. It was crazy pixelated. You couldn't even see the foul poles. So we're debuting a brand new stadium photo to play on. And man, the diamond itself is kind of small because I've got all that foul territory in the photo. Like, I don't know why more pitchers in pitching rehab seems to be Tampa, LA, Houston, or San Diego. And I'm like, man, Oakland is going to get you another 2-3 outs a start just based on the miles and miles of foul territory. So
yeah,
I don't know. I might,
as long as the picture has a couple drunks stumbling down the the upper balcony,
right? No, that's
all I remember from my games that I used to see as a kid. There,
it's all tarped off.
Oh, okay.
Right?
That probably saved a couple lives, actually.
Man, I saw a great sign someone had in the A's game this week that just said "sell, Fisher," because their owner is Fisher, the Gap. I think he's a Gap inheritor. I think that's what his family owns, the Gap. But they had highlighted portions of it, so the SEL of "sell" was in red, and the fish of Fisher was in red. So it said "selfish," which I thought was sign of the year. So
that's clever, man.
Salute, Oakland fans. I hate it when good fans lose their team through no fault of their own, and that sucks. So not real wild about what's going on in Oakland. Good luck in Sacramento next year.
So is that what they've locked in?
That's what they say. That's what's going to happen. But
there was some talk that they were actually going to play a season here in Utah.
I mean, since Utah is very strongly being considered supposedly for an expansion team, it'd be a great way for Salt Lake to show off that they would support a team, even when they were just renting, right? So I don't know. We'll see. And I guess it's hard to have your heart break for a franchise that's already moved 3 times. But I don't know. I just feel bad for A's fans. Anyway,
yeah, I agree.
There's a lot going on. Let's share the screen here and do it the right way. We're going to share the entire screen. We're going to add the audio, and we're going to look at the week that was. Just like this. Good thing I got the glasses on. So we're way out here, week 25. There's only 2 weeks left in Eternal Baseball. And only one division is locked up, sealed. That's the Birmingham Knights, who seem to always wrap up the AL South. And you'll see a lot of teams in red now. Red teams are eliminated, done, mathematically gone. So we added some teams this week here. Eliminated teams are the Arizona Diamondbacks, Colorado Rockies, Kansas City Royals, Miami Marlins, Milwaukee Brewers, San Diego Padres, Tampa Bay Rays, Texas Rangers, Toronto Blue Jays, and Washington Nationals.
You know, so, Cameron, one of these years, I think the Royals are just going to run.
Right? Let's see.
Don't you think?
Oh, I hope so. I think I got the wrong camera thing. I would love to see teams play different styles of baseball, right? Remember when when Whitey Herzog's Cardinals were a doubles and base stealing team, and other teams had fantastic defense, and other ones were just mashers. And now, I don't know, it doesn't feel like teams have identities the way they used to. I guess that's me yelling from my porch.
You're yelling to the clouds.
But boy, we got him here in Eternal Baseball. So your really good weeks. We noted the passing of Whitey Herzog on our page. We've done I think we've done a pretty good job of keeping up with saluting the legends as they do pass, as well as birthdays and this day in baseball, and pretty much one-stop shop if you like baseball. But the really good weeks include the Braves at 5-1, the Orioles at 5-1, the Cubs, who are the best team in the National League and are starting to pull away. I think they have a 3-game lead on St. Louis atop that really tough division. I feel bad for the White Sox. White Sox are 86-62. So are the Cincinnati Reds. That's a 94-win pace, and they are both probably going to miss the playoffs. Like, dude. You win 94 games and can't even snag a wild card. That's kind of rough.
But that is rough.
Chicago's doing their best, 6-0 this week, trying to catch up in that wild card chase, or maybe even in the division. But Cleveland and Detroit are fighting an absolute dogfight to top that division, and Chicago's like 5 games back. So they'd have to leap both of them. Probably unlikely with 14 games left, but we'll see. Also down here is it looks like Montreal with a last gasp. A little too late, Montreal, but good for you. And the rough weeks, Arizona, the Angels, and they need better baseball if they want to make the post. There's only one way in from the West. You got to win the West because it's kind of an atrocious division. Marlins had a tough week. Padres had a tough week. Blue Jays had a tough week. But tonight, it's all about right here, ding, 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 Boston and Oakland. So we'll be getting to that shortly. But here's the where we're at right now. Now, bear in mind, here's your sneak preview for all you loyal listeners and fans out there. This includes all of tomorrow's games. We played all of them this afternoon, except for the Boston game. So you'll see these games shaken out tomorrow. But the exciting stuff, Philadelphia's magic number is 4 to wrap up the East. So they're in, they're doing great. Atlanta's 1 game up on Houston, so that's still really competitive. Chicago is a 3-game lead on St. Louis in the North. So that's still possible, but Chicago's starting to pull away a bit. Pittsburgh is 5 games back of St. Louis for second place. So they're probably not even vaulting up there. But they own the top wild card, or the second wild card. So Chicago, St. Louis, and Pittsburgh should all make the postseason as division winner and 2 wild cards. And poor Cincinnati at 86-63, going to be out in the cold without a furious finish. The Dodgers have assaulted. I guess they just clinched with the win tomorrow. So the Dodgers will win the NL West. And that's the first time the Giants haven't won the NL West.
Yeah, interesting.
In our 4 seasons. Actually, San Francisco is starting to make a little bit of a comeback because they were way under 500. But a little too late in San Fran. The Yankees are pulling away in the East, but this is the best. The Yankees are beset by injuries, especially in their outfield. So Mantle's lost for the year. DiMaggio is out another 3 weeks. O'Neill missed a month, but just came back. And Aaron Judge missed 2 weeks, came back for what is tomorrow's game, and hurt himself diving in the outfield and is now lost for 3 more weeks. Oof. So it is a mash unit in the outfield in New York. And I know no one's crying buckets for the Yankees, but they're a 102-win team so far with 14 to play. Their pitching has been a little bit shaky. Their roster is as thin as we've ever seen it, and they are ripe for the picking. So I know most fans out there are dying for New York not to win another eternal title. So
Cameron's got a question for you regarding the tiebreaker.
We mentioned this online today. So if 2 teams end up tied for a wild card or for a division, we have a 1-game playoff, and the team with the better head-to-head record hosts that 1-game playoff. And so I thought, asked and answered, we're good. And then somebody said, hey, what if 3 teams tie? And I'm like, well, come on, 3 teams tie. And then I looked at the West where Minnesota, Oakland, and LA are within 3 games. I'm like, okay, fine. The 3-game playoff is based on league record. So your record in the American League or National League. We would seed the 3 teams. And the top seed essentially gets kind of a bye. But we'd run a same-day doubleheader. So seeds 2 and 3 play the opener. And then the winner of that plays the number 1 seed in the nightcap. And that will square any 3 or better. 4 teams, I don't even want to hear it.
I was gonna say that's a better solution than mine, which was throw a smoke bomb and then shut the whole thing down.
Right. If 4 teams make the play, are tied for a playoff spot, none of them get in. That's how we solve it. So,
it's the Expos. We choose.
Yeah, that's it. We just throw Tampa in there.
Tampa.
Yeah.
It's a true wild card.
Good question. Yeah. What if they're tied head to head though? We'll deal with that. Believe you me, there's lots of tiebreakers, right? If we get down to divisional record, we can get down to run differential. Like nobody's exactly tied. So we'll figure that out if we get to it. But trust us, you don't got to know the recipe for dinner to taste good. So we will get you there. So trust me, stick with us. But with that, I think we're ready for baseball. So let me pop up the old. My favorite bit: Cleveland, Detroit are in this absolute dogfight for the AL Central title right now, and Cleveland's playing Baltimore. Baltimore is really good, but they had this good matchup: Cleveland and Baltimore. This is tomorrow's game. Stan Kovaleski, who's the master of the spitball. So he's a favorite of mine, and Barney Pelty, who was more St. Louis Brown than Baltimore Oriole. But they had a good match out there in Baltimore. Cleveland scored 3 late. They won 6-3. And then Detroit had to answer serve, and they absolutely pummeled Milwaukee. Wow. 17-3. So don't mess with the Motor City Kitties. They're headed to the playoffs, we think. So here we are down on the bottom, Boston and Oakland. We'll fire this up. And there's a little preview of that stadium. I told you it looked good. With all that foul ground.
That is a ton of foul ground. I don't
love it. Oh. All right. So the pitching matchup, we already told you, it's Roger Clemens. It says usage, meaning he's not supposed to pitch exactly this much. 32 starts already. 262 innings. So his numbers will be slightly depressed in tonight's game. I think it's like between 10 and 20%. So it is, I guess it can be noticeable, but I've seen plenty of guys with usage warnings throw shutouts. So it doesn't mean he's going to get lit up. And it's kind of a fair bit because here's Vida Blue the same way. So we got Vida Blue, left-hander against right-handed Roger Clemens for the Oakland A's. Let's see who bats strongest first. One of the funny things about the A's, 4 seasons in, and Mark McGwire hasn't had a good year yet. He's not even on the active roster.
Wow. So
weird. It's a plot against redheads, I think. But that 179, well, that's against lefties. He does hit.
He and Ty Cobb, right? Cobb hasn't had it.
Cobb hasn't had a good year. Tom Seaver has never had a good season in internal baseball. And this is the first good year for Steve Carlton. So, again, every player's numbers. We went through this in painstaking detail online this week. But what we found for 4 seasons is that every player, it's their peak stats. That's what we put in. Their best 3 consecutive seasons average. So every player at their absolute athletic peak. But what we found when the best hitters of all time at their peak face the best pitchers of all time at their peak is both sides struggle a little bit. That makes sense, right? So everybody's numbers are depressed about 20% from their peak numbers simply because of the quality of competition. Okay. And then every player, every season gets their numbers modified anywhere between up or down 30%. And that number is random, cannot be changed, and cannot even be viewed It's a completely hidden number, and it changes every season. So if you take a guy like Ty Cobb, who should hit 405 based on his 3 peak seasons, which is friggin' ridiculous, by the way, but fine. You got to saddle him with a 20% hit on that, right? So even at his peak, he's only a 325 hitter in Eternal Baseball against this level of pitching. Okay, fine. But then if he happens to get saddled with a bad modifier, that's 30% off of that. So he could be a 230 hitter in Eternal Baseball. That's still feasible. Now, that's at the very bottom end of the scale. He could also be a 420 hitter, which would make Snoop Dogg thrilled. But we haven't seen that very often. But that's the window you get. It is weird that the same guy would have had 4 down seasons in a row, but that's just bad luck. So yeah, that's where we're at. So for the Oakland A's. Oh, wait a minute.
I think Cameron wants Matt Stairs. I think we can get him in there.
Matt Stairs,
not starting, but or is he on the?
He's on the roster. He's active, and he murders lefties. He's an 859 OPS against left-handers, and he's a 660 against right-handers. So I don't know if we can get Stairs in the starting lineup, but if a lefty comes out of Boston's pen, or if Clemens gets beat up and they go to a lefty, he would absolutely be the first bat off the bench against left-handers. So we'll see. I don't think there's room for him because the outfield gets a little crowded. And you need the DH because God knows you don't want to see Jason Giambi on the field. So anyway, and that's the deal. Giambi is their best hitter this season against right-handers for sure. But he usually DHs. And the way it usually shakes out is Canseco, who's an average fielder in left and right. He usually ends up in left with Jimmy Fox playing first base, and Mickey Cochrane at catcher, and that gives you that nice righty-lefty up top. Jimmy Dykes is the third baseman. Bob Johnson plays a terrible second base, but he qualifies there, and the rest of Oakland's second basemen are non-factors with the bat. So we kind of hold our nose and put Bob Johnson, who is known as an outfielder. He says they give him a 5 rating defensively at second base, but I think he has 30 errors. So careful out there. Al Simmons is phenomenal. He's a great left fielder, but Oakland doesn't have hardly anybody for center, and he plays an average center, so that's where he usually ends up. And then here's the deal. Miguel Tejada hits last, and it plays shortstop. And then you either got to go with the numbers say Reggie in right field, or it would move Canseco. You can play Reggie in right and play Canseco in left, or you can play Ricky in left and move Canseco to right. The numbers say Reggie, who's a Sun Devil, by the way.
Let's do Ricky, but can we put Reggie instead of Canseco? I don't think anyone would begrudge us that, would they?
I mean, the numbers don't say it. It's 100 different points lower in OPS, but we can. We're the boss.
I mean, Clemens is gonna murder Canseco, man. Right?
Yeah. Well, if you leave Ricky off, then you can get Reggie down here. Ricky's had a terrible season though, and is my favorite modern player. But
let's get him in there. No one's gonna begrudge us that.
Hitting 192 against righties, but a 314 on base, so he does walk. So yeah, Ricky is awful against righties. I know.
You guys are gonna have to give us this one.
yeah. He's my guy though. So, all right. So over in Red Sox land,
that'd be like not starting Kirby.
Exactly right. So against lefties, the one who jumps off the page is Mookie Betts. Friggin' murders left-handed pitching, or does this year anyway. And everybody thinks of Mookie as a right fielder because that's where he played in Boston, but he played right field because Jackie Bradley Jr. was in center, and all he could do was catch. So Mookie actually ends up playing center field in Boston because he's an 8 there. He's their best option actually in center, and he kills lefties. So it usually goes Betts, Ortiz actually at first, which is terrifying. Ted cleaning up, and Jim Rice in right field. So you get righty lefty. We could DH Ortiz. That's a possibility because he's a butcher at first. But the rest of it looks like Bobby Doerr at second.
He was an Oregon kid. You know that?
He is. Yeah, I knew that. It's pretty cool. I didn't find out. I'm in Rhode Island, and the post we had this week about Davy Lopes. I didn't know he was from East Providence. East Providence is like 2 miles from me. There has to be a Davy Lopes field somewhere around here that I
little league or something.
I think Ortiz ends up playing the field because without it, Manny can't play at all. So Manny ends up being our DH, and then it's Nomar. Nomar can play short or third. I mean, we could activate. We should probably sit somebody. Who would it be? Our combination can be Nomar at short and Devers at third, or Nomar at third and Bogarts at short. The numbers are all about the same. So if anybody has a preference out there.
Yeah, Cameron has a couple of thoughts there.
Here we go. I have Mookie leading off because of Doerr's on base is incredible too. Yeah, I mean, all these OPSs are through the roof. I don't think I can hit Mookie and Doerr 4 and 5 in a lineup with Ted Williams and David Ortiz. Like, how are you not hitting Ted 3 or 4? And I like the righty-lefty. So it does make sense. But I don't know, I kind of like it how it is.
Yeah, let's just do Nomar and then Xander.
Nomar and Xander. So put Garciaparra at third. I know Nomar didn't play third in Boston, but he played third later in his career. So stands to reason a younger Nomar could have also played third had they wanted.
And then Rich Gedman.
No, and the funny thing is, Veritek has a 12-game hitting streak, but he's actually dreadful 107 against lefties. So we get Mike Stanley catching. He's got some power. It's fine. It'll work out. And just like that, I think we're ready for baseball.
Pitching for Oakland, Vida, Blue. Leading off for Boston, center fielder, number 50, Mookie Betts.
All right, Mookie.
Play ball!
Let's photo size is good. We'll give control of Boston back to the computer. Look at the ears on Mickey Cochrane. Holy smokes.
He doesn't miss much in the clubhouse.
Man, I'm telling you.
That's a good shot of the Coliseum.
Yeah, it's a lot better than the one I had. So I like where we're at here. So just like that, we're playing baseball. Vida Blue came to play.
Number 34, David Ortiz. Right fielder, Jim.
I like
Rice.
that Ortiz has a 1 rating as a bunter. Like they ever had any data to base that on, right?
I don't know. He had some legs, didn't he, in Minnesota back in the day?
Back when he was 40 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
And as David Arias. A lot of sketchy things about Big Bobby. We'll let that go. But do you ever imagine him actually dropping down a bunt?
I don't know. Maybe we could look at you keep playing a little bit. I'm gonna go to YouTube and see if there's a clip of him bunting.
The one I remember was I think it was the last year of his career. Dave Winfield was with the Blue Jays. I think when they were going for their repeat title in '93, maybe. And he came up and it was like a tie game, 7th inning, first 2 guys on, right? And back in that day, it screamed bunt, right? Move them over, and you got two chances for even a sac fly or a ground ball to drive in the winner. Was it the Twins? Maybe it was with the Twins. Anyway, some like 17 years into his career, they said Dave Winfield hasn't bunted in 9 years. They wouldn't put the bunt on now, would they? Surely not, David, or whatever. And remember that Dave Winfield played. Didn't he get drafted? I think he got drafted in hockey, baseball, football, and baseball. And it was a pitcher in college.
He was a hockey player too?
I think he got drafted. Or there was or basketball.
Or basketball, yeah.
He got drafted in 3 or 4 sports, and he pitched well in college.
Jeez.
And they were like, I don't know if 39-year-old Dave Winfield is going to be asked to bunt. And sure enough, pink, beautiful little roller down the third base line. He didn't beat it out, but it was beautiful. So, oh, wait a minute. Fletcher's talking about David Ortiz. Okay. Not Winfield. Talking about David Ortiz. All right. And Rob's got it. Basketball, football, baseball. Not bad. And he beat up Nolan Ryan once. So he got that going for him. All right, here's Jim Rice. I think it's Aloysius
Pitching for Boston,
Simmons.
number 21, Roger Clemens. Leading off for Oakland, left fielder, number 24, Ricky Henderson.
Now,
All right,
Ricky's
there we go.
terrible. But he's rated as a good bunter, which is weird because I don't remember Ricky bunting hardly ever. And
No.
Mike Stanley is a below average catcher defensively with a below average arm.
Hey, let's bunt.
We can drop one, see what Roger thinks about that.
Oh, he's there. Oh,
The cat, Mike Stanley, is
Catcher,
all over
Mickey
that.
Cochrane.
Yeah.
oh, we had a chance there.
Cameron was way ahead of us. Oh, I got to hide this. There we go. Mickey Cochrane, who Mickey Mantle was named for.
Is that right?
Yep.
Huh.
Fly out
First
the left.
baseman, Jimmy Fox.
One of my favorite lines ever was that Jimmy Fox wasn't drafted. They found him in a trap. He was such a beast. Oh, it's a dribbler to.
He's
to Bo
there.
Rex.
He's
Look at
there.
this. Oh,
Oh, come on,
you
review
didn't get
that.
to challenge that.
Number 9, Ted Williams.
Look, I'm a Yankee fan, right? I got nothing bad to say about Ted Williams. Come on, Ted friggin' Williams.
Strike 3.
But he sits down.
Second baseman, Bobby Doerr.
Bobby Doerr.
Strike 3.
Designated hitter, Manny Ramirez.
I forgot by playing Doerr, Dustin Pedroia's on the bench, and you know where Dustin Pedroia went to college. Just saying. Here's Manny. Oh, he lifts one to left. Ricky's on his horse, but
I think it's foul. Is it foul?
Pummel.
yes,
Woo.
pretty good.
Ball 4.
Ah, we walked. All right.
And Cameron was saying Mickey Tettleton was named for Mickey Mantle.
Third
Nice.
baseman,
And
They
so
go
it
on.
continues.
Anyone named no. No one was named for Mickey Taylor. Underrated player though. All right, so here's Noma
Strike 3.
sitting down. 200th K. Not
Wow.
today.
hitter,
Not
Jason
today. But
Humber.
provided play. Here's Jason Giambi. Look at that. We got a runner. And it's
Send
Jason
him.
Giambi.
Send them. Whoa, hey.
51.
Straight coin flip. I like it.
Here's Jimmy Dykes.
There we
Same
go.
club.
There's a
Dykes-
rally.
Dykes plays a good shortstop too. He's a
Second
valuable
baseman,
player for there.
Bob Johnson.
Here's Bob
go, Bob.
Johnson, who should not be playing second, but that's where we have room for him.
Strike 3.
Oh, he sits down.
Center fielder, Al.
Yeah, you know,
Simmons.
Mickey's not one of those names you hear much anymore.
You don't see a whole lot of Mickey.
It's kind of gone the way of Alice and Peggy.
Yeah, you see a lot of Peggy's. Chloe. Oof.
Chloe's made a comeback, at least in Salt Lake.
Has it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Always gave me the heebie-jeebies. Didn't like that name. That was on the veto list. Aloysius Simmons gives
Whoa.
this one a ride.
Oh. Is it off the
It's
wall?
off the
Oh,
wall.
we're on the board.
Giambi scores.
Yeah,
Dykes
Blanche.
comes
Blanche
around.
is definitely
Simmons-
not a name you see anymore.
Blanche. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Going for third. Oh, how about
Right
Esther?
fielder,
Don't see a lot of
number
Esther
44.
anymore.
No, you do not.
Jackson.
Look at Reggie's shades. Come on now. Sun Devil, just saying.
It's like a third of the league.
Right? The crying shame for me as a Ricky Henderson fan. Ricky grew up in Oakland and was a huge Reggie fan.
Shortstop,
Reggie
Miguel
played football
Tejeda.
and baseball at Arizona State. And Ricky was going to do that too. Imagine Ricky Henderson, high school running back. Come
Cheers.
on. So if he didn't get drafted high enough, or if whoever drafted him didn't pay him what he wanted, he was going to go to Arizona State and play baseball and football. Like, come on.
Jeez.
And then Oakland, he got drafted by Oakland, the hometown team, and they ponied up like the $15,000 or whatever it took to sign a first round pick back then. There you go. Here's a kind of forgotten player. Remember when the argument was Jeter, Nomar, Tejada, who's the best shortstop in the American League?
Yeah.
Right before A-Rod demolished the scene. But you could have argued that Tejada was the best of the three.
I think he got kind of buried with the steroid accusations, didn't he? That was sort of my sense, but
yeah, it seems to me that it was kind of like price of admission in Oakland for a few years. Like, show up, get your news. But here's Miguel Tejada.
Strike 3.
Sitting down.
I think we were blabbing, Cameron. I didn't hear the pronunciation.
Hold on. It's we got that recall. Let's see. I hope they don't pronounce the J.
Tejada.
Tejada. This is not going to go well. Tejada.
Tejada.
Probably acceptable.
Maybe the Tejada.
Tejada.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
It's better.
Yeah. What if, though, Rob, Walt Weiss was on the... What if that was his maxed out strength stat when he was in it?
Right? And poor Walt Weiss. Colorado Rocky. Walt Weiss doesn't make the eternal baseball. I mean, if somebody was, it'd be Campaneris. Boy, we took a ton of flack for not having Campaneris on the A's roster. But again, it's peak stats at their best, not who had the longest career, not who had the best career, but at their peak, who were the best players.
What was that? Wasn't there an Onion article where they're talking about the only like the best baseball player of the steroid era who wasn't on steroids was Greg Counsell? Like he was like the MVP of the era.
Right? That's the lone holdout. Here's Bogarts with a dribbler to third. Jimmy Dykes is up with it. They'll get him at first.
Catcher, number 24.
Hey, I don't want to jinx
Mike
it,
Stanley.
but Vida Blue throwing a no-hitter through 2. Mike Stanley with a dribbler. Oh, Bob Johnson has trouble with that whole defense thing.
Yeah, that's pretty clean. We'll take it.
Here's Mookie Betts. Oh, he lifts one to left. Ricky's on his horse.
Jump.
He'll bring it in. Oh, and here's Ricky again.
See, Jose Canseco does not get that.
Actually, that one goes off his head, right? Here's Ricky. Grounded to Clemens. He can't beat it out. 0 for 2 for my man Ricky. Here's Mickey Cochrane. Bobby Doerr charges. David Ortiz hasn't dropped one yet. I'm a little frustrated by that. Here's Jimmy Fox. Oh, it's off the wall. Poor play by Jim Rice. Look at this. Rob taunting me for ruining the no-hitter. Not yet, I didn't.
I don't remember David Howard very well.
Who's David Howard?
Was he just a utility guy?
I mean, the funny thing about the Mitchell report was it was a whole lot of nothing, right? Like it was like 5 guys you cared about, including Paul LaDuca, Sun Devil.
The whole thing was worth it just to see Palmeiro give his testimony.
Right? That finger. Here's Jason Giambi. Gets it through the middle. All right, do we send Fox home with 2 outs and a 91% chance?
Oh, every day, all day.
Go ahead, Jimmy. Not in time. Giambi doesn't even try for second, though, because he's lazy.
Should we hit and run? What do you think?
With Giambi at 40%?
Hit and run?
I mean, if Dyke swings and misses, though, Giambi's dead to rights, probably. But
All right.
just saying,
Just trying to keep the people here.
we can make it up. Oh, here we go. Hold on. David Howard.
Interesting. Okay, so he's a big utility guy. Huh?
Did not remember him. We can hit and run with Jambi. Let's see what happens. We're up 4-0. Run, Jimmy Dykes. No. Thrown out at first. We go to the top of the fourth.
Well, I was hoping for a shot to the gap. Score
Right?
Giambi, but
You can't say the gap in Oakland without the fans.
there you go.
Oh, Ortiz with a leadoff walk. Oh, boy. Man, 49% to
Coin
steal
flip.
second
Huh.
for David Ortiz.
It would be an honor to give up a stolen base to Ortiz.
Right? Could you imagine,
Oh, there it goes. Darn
could
it.
you imagine being the shortstop rolling over to take that throw with friggin' Big Poppy lumbering down towards you? Oof.
You probably have enough time to apply the tag comfortably.
Right? Probably have to run him down to tag him. Here's David Howard. The Ballad of David Howard.
Okay, I don't feel as bad not recognizing the name now.
11 homers in 8 years on steroids.
So he must have got that's the equivalent of like the high school kid buying the bag full of catnip
Pretty much.
instead of weed. Got some,
Man, 11 home runs. That's some Vince Coleman power right there. So we got 2 men on, nobody out for Ted Williams. I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
Ball four.
Yeah, we walk him. I'm not that mad about the walk.
yeah.
Here's Bobby Dorr. Lifts the fly ball. Looks like Al Simmons is under it. David Ortiz is getting ready to tag. Look out, Mickey. If we throw home, we got an 8% chance to get it.
Seems like there's a 30% chance Ortiz is going to trip on the way home.
I mean, we give it a shot.
Let's do it.
All right. Throw home, sure. All right.
Come on.
The runners stay, though, so it didn't cost us anything.
Yeah, Rob, you're right. That is. Along with the Cecil Cooper card.
Oof. Charles Nagy. Man, I already got 5 Charles Nagy's. What are you doing? Here's Manny Ramirez. 2 on, 1 out.
Ball four.
He's walking.
Vida
Blues, confidence is shaky this inning. But he still leads 4-1 as Nomar digs in.
Turn into Alec Manoah here.
Oh, I hate bases loaded walks. Like, just makes my skin crawl.
I think do we need to get someone up here? I don't know.
I mean, it's possible.
It's kind of a big game.
Let's peruse that bullpen out here. So the regular starters are Lefty Grove, Rube Waddell, Vida Blue, Charles Bender,
Chief.
and then whoever you want, right? But X the closer and Raleigh's the setup guy. And beyond that, you can have anybody you want. So we could do Bullet Joe Bush or Jack Coombs or Catfish Hunter.
Let's do
if you like.
Catfish. Yeah.
You could be a
fun.
long guy. All right. So give me the bullpen.
That's true. It would be pretty awesome to have had a couple years of your own baseball cards.
Oh, yeah. Where's Catfish? How am I losing him? Oh, that shows the starters. There we go. All right, Mr. Hunter. Take him a little while to warm up, though. We'll see if we get there. Here's Xander Bogaerts. Mickey Cochran's like, throw strikes. Jesus. It's a dribbler to third. Jimmy Dykes comes up with it. Okay. We can throw home. It's a 25% chance.
Double
or
play.
we can go for the double play. There's a 97% chance.
Yeah, no brainer.
That makes sense. Throw home? No. Throw to second. Throw to first. Double them up.
Hip, hip.
And we're out with a 4-2 lead. All right, that could have been worse. Oh, the organist helping us out. All right, here's Bob Johnson, poet and a prophet.
Track 3.
Sitting down. Al Simmons? There you go. Al Simmons was a phenomenal ball player. And I knew he was a Hall of Famer, but a couple of seasons of watching him just rattle balls off the wall. And I got a whole new respect for Aloysius Simmons. Here's Reggie Jackson hitting a soft little dribbler to Bobby Doerr. Looks like it's going to be 2. Oh, Reggie, you're hurting us.
I love Bobby Doerr because I did a little research on him, and just you look for something post-retirement, and it's like he just moved to Oregon.
Yeah, he just moved back and retired. Right?
Just like nobody, nothing else. It's like, all right.
No big deal. Here's Mike Stanley
Ball 4.
walking. That's how last inning started. Let's walk the number 9 hitter leading off the inning so we can get to Betts, Ortiz, Rice, and Ted friggin' Williams. There we go. Fly out. We'll take that. From Mookie. Here's Big Poppy. Just so we know, Catfish Hunter is ready. But I think Blue's got plenty of pitches up to 140. We definitely want him to face the lefties, Ortiz and Ted Williams. So not quite yet. As Ortiz sends a long one, but Reggie's under it. 2 down. Oh, let's see here. There you go.
Yeah, I like it.
They pull it on a profit. All right, here's Jimmy Rice. 2 down. Stanley on first. Jim Rice lines out to Jimmy Dykes. And we move to, where are we? Bottom of the 5th. Here's Miguel Todd. Oh, look at that.
That's out.
Laser. It's weird seeing the Coliseum with all these people in it. It's a little, and that's not a rip on Oakland fans. I get it. There's some, I saw an article this week about some guy with deep pockets.
Pitching for Boston,
Crazy
Tom
A's fan
Bergmeyer.
is going to every A's road game this year, but won't spend a dime in the home stadium to give to the owner he hates. And I'm like, you know what? Good for you, dude. A year-long road trip?
Sounds pretty fun, actually. We got to do that. We need to start fundraising.
Right? Yeah.
We could just do these games on the road.
We do have a Buy Me a Coffee account if you people want to donate a couple $100,000.
There you go.
And Roto and me on the best buddy cop road trip movie of all time. Here's look, Clemens is gone and Bergmeyer is in. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Bergmeyer's a lefty.
Ooh.
And we promised Matt Stairs, who murders lefties. Let's see here.
You're going to put Canseco in?
You could put Stairs in and then Canseco after, but it means pulling Ricky out. Nah, Ricky.
Your call, man. He's your boy.
He's my guy, but we made a promise. But you know who else kills lefties? Remember Chris Davis?
Oh, yeah.
I love this guy because he hit, I think it was 243 4 years in a row in Major League Baseball. Almost impossible to do that. I don't care. Not that 243 is winning you any MVPs, but just to hit that on the nose
with 30 dingers to go with it.
Yeah, with some power, right? So,
love it.
Oh, here we go. Okay, because it was Cam, we promised.
All right, we'll save him. Okay.
We'll save him. So do we do Chris Davis now?
I think we give Ricky one more chance.
You have to talk me into Ricky.
All right, there we go.
Dribbler to Bobby Doerr. Run, Ricky, run. He's not there. 0 for 3. It's been a lost year for my man, Ricky Henderson. Here's Mickey Cochrane. He's got some of that, but Jimmy Rice is under it. Now here's Jimmy Fox. Something else to think about. Sal Bando murders left-handers, too. So we may have a Bando opportunity here next inning.
Strike 3.
Is my mic making knocking sounds?
It's not me, because I don't have a zip-up. Or maybe I do. Hang on. We'll see if it gets better. Plus, like my grandma always said, skin to win. So
these are rookie numbers we're putting out right now. We need to pump this up.
Right? All right. Here we go. This is for the ladies out there. Maybe some of the guys too. We'll see if that gets better. All right.
Yeah, let us know if
Here's,
it continues.
Here's Teddy Williams. Oh, boy. All right, looks like Reggie's. No, he's not going to get that. It's off the wall. Ted Williams, who I don't know if he ever tripled in his career, but a double's fine, too. Catfish Hunter's still ready. Bobby Dorr sends one foul. Look at all that foul
Oh,
ground.
he's going. He's going. He's got it.
Ricky's in the crowd. Comes back with a hot dog. Kind of ironic, I know, but here's Bobby Dorr. And straighten this one out. But Ricky's under it with a snatch catch, I'm sure. So one down for Manny Ramirez. Oh, lines down the line.
You don't run on
Ricky's
Ricky's. You don't run on Ricky.
Oh,
he didn't. Oh.
Ricky had a pretty popcorn arm, but that's all right. First and third.
I don't know. You want to
Light of
recap
blue
this
getting
shit?
up there.
Should we do it?
Yeah, I think it might be time. We got nothing but righties coming up till Ortiz.
Well, Cameron said Ted actually had 71 career triples.
He played 18 years, though.
Well,
So.
that's not bad.
And won 2 wars, also, just saying.
That's more impressive.
I'm all right with Catfish Hunter.
Let's do it.
Although every time we go to the bullpen, it's because the names are shiny. And
That's true. We're predictable, like Chris Davis's average.
Oh. All right, here's Catfish Hunter. Hall of Famer.
Strike 3.
All right.
Yeah,
Sitting Omar down. Bogarts with a dribbler. Tejada comes up with the throw.
Poop.
Got him.
Oh, I love it.
I didn't think he did. Good for him. All right, so here's Giambi. He's fine against lefties. But he taps out to pitcher. Now, here's the deal. Let's take a look at Jimmy Dykes' shares. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Dykes is a 6th defender at third. Bando's not quite as good at 5, but Bando's got an OPS of 1,115.
Let's get Sal in there.
Come on. It's his big chance.
Pinch hitting for Oakland.
It's looking
Sal
good.
Bando.
Right? They couldn't find a
Love
hat that fits, and he doesn't care.
He's one of those guys that are just made for that era, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. He never wore a uniform with buttons on it, right? All pullovers. And 100% wool.
There you go.
All right, so Bando helps us out. We got one down. Here's Bob Johnson. Yeah, Rob's got a good point here. We'll wait for this to pop up. Oh, 2 good ones. So Cameron, 71 career triples for Ted Williams. Most of them early in his career. 25 in his first 2 seasons. And then Rob with a good point. Yeah. A lot of times there was no wall. It was just run forever. That's where all the home runs landed and rolled. Was out in those mountainous ballparks of old. All right, 2 down. Here's Al Simmons. Like a snap throw to first.
Wow, I thought he had him.
Didn't get Sal Bando. Lazy fly to right. And we go to the top of the 7th. Oh, we got to officially put Bando at third. Got it. Here's Mike Stanley. Now, 7th inning, if you were Boston, and now you're facing a right-hander, you might want to get Boggs in there at some point. This is for Stanley, though. Is it too early to think pinch hitter in the 7th? Down 5-2? Because this is Stanley, the number 9 hitter.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't know.
I kind of like it. Even though Red Sox fans don't like him, he's pretty damn good in this game. Let's get Boggs in there. Just for a
pinch hitting for Boston.
He was probably eating chicken in the dugout.
Boggs.
Here's Wade Boggs.
A couple more ballpark comments that are good.
And Boggs is going to pop out to catcher and make me look like a moron. That's all right.
First pitch swinging.
Right? Yeah, it's a good call. The Polo Grounds was a monster.
460. Ugh.
That was a haul.
I feel like Frank Thomas just hit a homer.
How do you not like Boggs? That's the most Yankee fan comment ever, right? Come on. No, Boggs was not one of the chicken and beer guys. Boggs was the guy who had grilled chicken 2 hours before every game his entire career. That was like his thing.
So was that whole beer thing on the plane? Was that legit? Where he supposedly like went through? Was it a full case of beer?
I don't know if I heard that. The chicken and beer thing with the Sox was Beckett and the crew, right? Who supposedly were eating it in the clubhouse, I think, during games.
On their off days?
No.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Like when Beckett wasn't pitching, he and some other guys. I don't know if it was all pitchers, but I remember Beckett was one of them.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right, here's Mookie Betts. It's a dribbler, but Mookie can run. Sal comes up with it. He's meat at first. Here's Big Poppy.
Yeah, I assumed it was exaggerated a little bit, but supposedly Boggs could drink, man. That guy.
Oh, yeah. Hit it? All right, so it's a sinking liner to center with 2 outs. Simmons can dive for it, but he's only got a 42% chance to catch it. Given that it's Ortiz, who's not much of a runner, and there's 2 down, I would say let's just let this one drop. Because if it gets past him, he's on second or maybe third.
That's true, but if he catches it, we're out of the inning.
That's a good point, too. All right, you know what? Throw it out to the comments. First one in. 42% to catch this ball, 2 outs. Are you diving? Or are we letting this drop? Now, remember, if I do let it drop, now we're dealing with 3 and 4, right? So that's Rice and Ted Williams, perhaps. So there's monsters in the closet for sure. So
pins and needles.
We'll wait. We got nothing but time. Cam says, dun, 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 dun. I wouldn't chance it.
Ban that man.
Ortiz dive? No. Ortiz, right there with a single. Here's Jim Rice. Oh, yeah. And this was the chicken and beer guys in the clubhouse. I know it was Beckett. I don't remember who the other guys were. Jim Rice with another sinking liner to Al Simmons. 65% chance to catch this one, Roto. I think we got to go for that.
Let's do it.
All right. Simmons dive, yes. Great play by Al Simmons.
All right.
We're out of the inning.
I feel like we all won that one. Man, sorry, Steve. We got your comment late.
Right? We go for the second one.
The minute Weber saw that I wouldn't chance it, boom, hit the button. We didn't have a chance.
I'm all over. I said first one in. Rob's got a good point. I think the Boggs hate wasn't just that he went to New York, but that he won a title and rode a friggin' horse around the field, right? I just think they could never come back from that.
Yeah.
And that was when the curse was in full effect. And I just think it was the psychological scarring was tangible, I think, on that. Hey, so we got Reggie Jackson up. I'm just going to throw it out here because I didn't know about it till we looked at it. Against lefties, we still got Chris Davis and Matt Stairs. Either one is going to be a nightmare defensively, though, but we could put Canseco in the place.
Should we put him in for Reggie?
I mean, feels like bench Reggie Jackson, but which one is it? Is it Chris Stairs or Chris Davis or Matt Stairs?
I think I got to go Matt Stairs.
I mean, we did kind of promise.
Billy Martin would have no trouble benching
point.
Reggie in this situation.
Except
hitting for Oakland.
Billy Martin would have already passed out in the dugout. But whatever. Here's Matt Stairs, who looks tough, but he has an earring, so he must be sensitive.
Oh,
he got a lot of that. Jim Rice is kind of under it, though.
Too bad.
Man, he gave it a ride. All right, here's Miguel Todd. Lining out to Nomar. Dick Raditz is now pitching for Boston.
Pitching for
Right-hander.
Boston, Dick Raditz.
Raditz, whatever.
The guy was pretty legit, man. I was reading up on
Yeah.
him a little bit.
That's the one thing Boston has. The pitching, the top three is incredible. Between Cy Young, Roger Clemens, Pedro Martinez, and their lineup is all world. But their bullpen is a little shaky by comparison.
Mhm.
So maybe this Mr. Raditz can help them out a little bit. As far as the A's go, we're back to right-hander on the mound. Oh, we got Canseco who will help. Canseco's coming in for stairs defensively. So what we got is what we got, unless we see a left-hander. And Veritek is catching now. That makes sense because we pinch hit Boggs. So here's Ricky. Oh,
There we
off
go.
to the races, Roto.
Where we at?
Ricky with a leadoff triple.
Is that 88 or 60?
88.
Okay, gotta send him.
Off he goes. Veritek's up with it. Safe. 79 to steal third.
Dude, should we? Let's do it.
Why not? We're up 5-2. The throw. He's
I love it. Where we at?
14 to steal home. Probably better let that go.
All right.
Here's Mickey Cochrane. He lifts it.
Oh,
But Ted's under it. And he makes the catch.
should have
So
stolen.
here we are in the 8th inning. Catfish Hunter. We will get X the closer, and he's a good one, obviously. Also have
Raleigh.
Raleigh fingers.
Love
Should
it.
we get Raleigh up in case Catfish gets in trouble?
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Bullpen. I hope. I mean, I'm not wishing ill of Mr. Hunter, but man, I'd like to see Raleigh's mustache in the game, right? Get warming up.
Another shiny object for us to.
Yeah, exactly, right? And you know Raleigh was tying a damsel to railroad tracks and was like, son of a, gotta go warm up. Here's Ted Williams. Oh, I'm missing a right fielder because that's where Jose goes.
Yeah, that's true. Eck had a pretty good little stash there too.
Yeah, it's true. My favorite story about Raleigh Fingers was he finished up with had some good years with the Brewers, but I think he was after the 85 season, he decided I'm done. Last season under contract with the Brewers, decided he was done. And then it was getting close to spring training. Pete Rose was the manager, player manager for the Reds. And he called him up and he said, Raleigh, what are you doing? You're unsigned. I don't read anything about you. And Raleigh said, I'm done. You know, I had a great run. I'm good. He's like, you can still throw though, right? Raleigh was like, yeah, I can totally throw. He's like, my bullpen's trash. Let me talk to my GM. Would you be interested in playing for me in Cincinnati? And Raleigh said, you know what, Pete? I got another year in me, sure. So the GM calls, I don't know who it was, who the GM was, calls Raleigh Fingers and says, hey, Raleigh, we're interested in bringing you into Cincinnati. There's still time to hammer out a deal by spring training. I'm going to call your agent, but I wanted to check with you first because we have a facial hair policy here in Cincinnati. So if we sign you, you'd have to be willing to shave the mustache.
So there's no mustache exemption like
no
the Yankees.
mustache. Nope.
Oh, man, come on, Reds.
And Raleigh Fingers said, your mascot has my mustache. And if you think about Mr. Ed with the ball and your mascot has my mustache. So surely we can work something out. And the GM said, I'm sorry, it's an inflexible rule. So if you're willing to shave the mustache, I'll give your agent a call. And Raleigh said, you know what? Listen to this. Boop. Just like that. Done.
Geez.
Not shaving his mustache for the Cincinnati Reds. Oh,
that's magnificent that the logo had.
Throwing him under the bus. Bill Burgess was the GM. That's why you didn't get Raleigh Fingers on the 86 Reds. Anyway, here's Ted Williams. Sorry to keep you waiting, Ted. Ground out. Not much from Ted today. Here's Bobby Dorr. Let's see. 8th inning. Dorr kills right-handers. There's no way they pinch hit for
Yeah, so would that have been too much of a mustache for the Yankees? How flexible is the Yankee?
I don't know that anybody's ever done the Snidely Whiplash. Give it up to Rob for the reference. The Yankee bit it just has to be above the upper lip.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
he might have got away with that, right? Might.
I think so. Get a laser level and
Yeah, maybe. Here's Manny Ramirez. He gets under one. Ricky's under it. It's off the wall.
That's right. Gossage had a. That's right.
That's true. Yeah, and Munson was close to that edge with his mustache too. So how much does Hunter have left? 27 pitches. Is it worth going to fingers just to get him in the game?
Yes.
All right. I love how we're still fast and loose with our bullpen choices, even though we've been housed so many
Pitching
times.
for Oakland.
Look at that.
Fingers.
Wow.
Oh, it's gorgeous. And he'll pitch to Nomar.
It's gorgeous.
2 down, right?
Uh-oh. You got it?
It's off the wall. Nomar with an RBI double. And it's 5-3. Here's Xander Bogaerts. Now, just to do our due diligence for our friends the Red Sox. Where is Bogaerts here anyway? For OPS versus right-handers. Bogaerts is way down there. But I don't know if they
You
have
thinking
anybody.
Yaz?
I'm just thinking they don't have
Pedroia?
anybody to play. We already used Boggs. I don't think they have anybody else who can play third. Or short, because you would move Nomar from third to short. I don't think they have anybody. Because Boggs is out and Devers and Jimmy Collins aren't active. So I think they're kind of stuck with what they got here.
Yeah, not our problem, I guess.
Can't say we didn't look. So here's Xander Bogaerts, 2 down. Hits one foul.
Oh, he's
Way
there.
foul.
He's
Come on,
there.
You hot dog. Come on. Another one. Dive, Ricky.
Oh, he's
You
got it.
prima
He's got it.
donna.
Come on.
Sit
There we go. All right.
All right, now remind me with 1 out. It's X time. We don't want to forget because I forget a lot. Here's Jimmy Fox. Shoots one the opposite way. Leadoff, single. Fair enough. Fair enough. So runner on first. Here's Jason Giambi. He lifts one to center, but Mookie's on that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, 1 out. So let's go to the pen. Get the Eck warming up. Here's Sal Bando with a dribbler to the X.
Oh, he's there. Get there.
Get there, Sal. Out! That call is garbage. Here's Bob Johnson. Sitting down.
Catcher, number 33, Jason Varitek.
Varitek, whatever. His hitting streak's on the line, even though he came off the bench, right?
Yeah.
12-game hit streak. And he'll have to do it against one of the best to ever get it done.
Pitching for Oakland.
Dennis Eckersley.
Wow, there we go.
Who was a Red Sox early in his career.
Yeah.
And then a popular commentator there until the players said he was being too negative. And they got rid of him. There you go. Here's Eck and Tech. And Tejada wins that battle. 1 down. Here's Mookie Betts.
Rob Beanham.
Yeah, right. Why not? Tejada with a throw in time. 2 down.
All right.
Eck and Ortiz. Like, this is the kind of stuff that, the other day there was in a Milwaukee Detroit game, Cecil Fielder hit a single. And I'm like, well, I don't think they need to hold him on. but it was actually Prince Fielder holding Cecil Fielder on first base.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is pretty awesome, right? Dug that. All right, so Eck and Big Poppy
Strike 3.
sitting him down.
The final score from Oakland Coliseum.
You know, not a terrible bullpen session.
Yeah, you know, who knew?
He is now 12-6. Roger Clemens gets the loss. He is now 21-6 on the season. Dennis Eckersley gets the save, number 12. Miguel Tejada hit home run number 14 on the season. Time of the game, 3 hours, 3 minutes.
I mean, we got 3 2/3 innings and only gave up 1 run.
Dude, Eck with the double stuff.
Right? Yeah, nobody was touching Eckersley today. And Boston, after Rogers' kind of rotten start, Bergmeyer and Raditz gave them 4 innings of scoreless relief. So who knew? For the 100th episode of Eternal Baseball, we finally figured out how to make bullpens work. We're pretty excited about that.
Stick around for the next 100. See what we figure out this.
We'll find a way to break it. But we do appreciate you joining us for another edition of the Eternal Baseball Podcast. We're here every Sunday and motoring towards the playoffs with just, I think, 14 games left. The playoffs are a great time. We're looking forward to that. And we've had a couple of 1-game playoffs over the years, and those are always good. We try to bring those to you live, so stay tuned. And as always, when I say stay tuned, I'm talking about eternalbaseball.com. That's where you can see everything that we do. You can also find us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. We do have daily box scores posted on the team-specific message boards at eternalbaseball.com. That's where you'll see the playoff bracketing once that's established. The whole season's a ton of fun, but the playoffs are something else, and we're looking forward to it, especially because there's no real favorite this year. Lots of good teams. So it's anybody's ball game, pun intended, as we motor into the Eternal Baseball playoffs. So thanks for joining us for the first 100 Eternal Baseball podcasts. And we'll see you for the next 100. And with that, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week on another thrilling edition of the Eternal Baseball Podcast.
Good night, everyone.